love being single. I love that I'm like independent and I'm happy alone and I can do my own thing. I don't have to answer to anybody.
How are those qualities attractive to men? Okay, guys, how would you like it if somebody said, "Hey, I've got a girl that you want to meet. She's independent. She doesn't want to answer to anybody. She's still single over 30, and she wants to do her own thing." Is that somebody you want to be with? No, right? Hey, maybe if she's cute, you'll boink her, right? But that's about it, and that's all these girls get, and this is why they end up becoming the DG, because that's as much as guys will give them, right? But because society has lied to them, they think that these are positive qualities. These are not positive qualities for dudes that you want to attract. And no, it's not because they're insecure little man. No, they're not intimidated by you, right? It has nothing to do with that. It just, no guy wants to be with an awful person like that is going to cause drama in their lives and is not going to want to be in a harmonious relationship with them, period.
I am so lonely. Like, what is it with this season when it...
She's lonely. Did you hear what she just said in the beginning about she's single, wants to do her own thing, doesn't need a man, piss on guy, and you wonder why.
It's like dark at 4 p.m. and there's Christmas markets and it's Christmas and you just want to cuddle someone and watch Elf. And you can't do that. Why can't I have both? There should be a site called like Rent a Boyfriend and you just have them for like November, December.
Well, you can do that. I'm sure this woman is on the dating apps, right? You can definitely do that. You could just have, don't tell me you don't have guys just coming over and doing you and then leaving. You totally have that. What are you talking about? I mean, these guys will still bang these like harpies over 30, no problem, right? They'll still do it. I don't advise it, but they'll still do it. But they're not committing, right? Even the low value dudes, they won't commit.
Maybe January, the first half, when it's a bit depressing. Because I can't do this. What do I do?
Oh my gosh, it's not even funny anymore. I mean, the women back in the day, especially back in my grandma's times, right? They used to really be honest with each other at least and tell them like what it takes to get a man and keep a man. Right? The older generations, probably your grandmothers too, would teach their daughters how to cook, right? That was like number one. You teach your daughter how to cook, right? Because as they used to say, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So you got to teach that. You got to teach your daughters how to cook. You teach them to not sleep around. That is something that women used to teach each other way back in the day. Like, hey, no man's going to want you if he knows you've been around with other fellas. He's not going to want you, dear. Not only that, but you got to be able to make sure you could keep the house tidy, know how to clean, cook, take care of him. He comes home from a long day at work, right? You listen to him. Don't shout at him. Don't talk down to him. And definitely, under any circumstance, do not disrespect him. Make sure you are always appreciating him, right? That was the type of advice that older women would give to their younger daughters, right? And this is why the divorce rates were just really low back in the day. They were super low. Whereas now, they're extremely high because these women don't know how to treat a man. It's no shocker they cannot hang on to a man. And it's no shocker that this is how they end up 30, 40, 50 years old, still on Tinder, still on Bumble, still on OkCupid, or plenty of whales, plenty of fish, right? Going on these first dates, endless stream of first dates, banging random dudes off of those first dates, and then just recycling and going through, another season of that every year where they're like, okay, here come the new dudes that I'm going to bang. Yeah, and they just, their vaginas become like just old used balloons. You ever see those old popped used like balloons that are in the street? Might have come from a parade that happened a few years back, and this balloon is still on the street, and it's just really ridiculous looking, and it's just shriveled up. Yeah, that's what happens when you let dudes run through you like that. Multiple dudes and not just one that would otherwise be your husband. But regardless, let's go on to the next clip, shall we? Ready.
Being single in your 30s is waking up alone, but also loving having a queen-size bed to yourself. It's living in a very pink apartment and wishing there was someone in it with you.
Okay, I mean, you really have to appreciate the hypocrisy of these modern women's demands. Here she is talking about how she loves waking up in this queen bed, which is a small bed, waking up in this queen bed by herself in a pink apartment. What dude, right? We're just talking about older women giving their younger women advice back in the day to learn to cook, clean, take care of the man, how to keep a man, all this. But fast forward 100 years later to these modern women making these demands about, I don't want to see, I don't like being alone in this queen bed in this pink apartment. What dude would want that, right? I don't know a dude who would want to wake up in your queen bed where you obviously want to be alone, in your pink apartment where, you just want him to fill the void because you're feeling lonely for that moment. But this is what happens when these women stay single for too long. There comes a point where after you've been single for so long, you just lose your ability to pair bond. Beyond all of the assortment of dudes that you're banging from the apps, right? Beyond those assortment of dudes that you're banging from those apps that are all out of your league that will never commit to you, right? Besides those dudes, you sleeping with them and screwing up your ability to pair bond, you just get fixated in your own routines after a certain age, right? And it happens to all of us. It happens to me, right? I'm fixated in my own routine. I'm not as flexible as I used to be in my 20s, or even when I was in my 30s, I became less and less flexible with the way I want to do things. It's like, okay, this is how I like to do things. This is what works for me. And this is why I say, as dudes, you're probably the same way as you get older, right? This is why I say it's better to get with a younger woman who is more flexible and she will adapt herself to your lifestyle, right? Just as my girl has, right? My girl's in her early 20s. She has pretty much adapted herself to how I work, when I can see her, when I can talk to her, what to expect from me. I can't, she was a little thrown off in the beginning. She didn't know how much I liked her because I wasn't texting as often as other dudes would, and that she dated in the past. She only had her high school boyfriend before me, but he used to text her like left and right every night. But obviously they were in high school together, so he had the time. I'm a business owner that's like twice her age, and so I don't have that time. But she adapted herself to me, and to the point where she likes it. She likes the way we do things in our relationship. But if I was to get with a 50-year-old woman, which I ain't doing, right? If I was crazy enough to do something like that, we would be butting heads because she's like, no, I like to do things this way. I like to make sure that the shelves look like this, or I like to make sure that I run things in my life this way, and you have to compromise. I'd be like, nah, I don't want to compromise. This is the way I do things. But the longer this chick stays single, the more problems she'll have.
It's loving your alone time, but also wishing you weren't alone so much.
How can you love your alone time, but I mean, yeah, she's gonna have a rough time here.
Wanting to go on a vacation, but not knowing who to go with. It's loving your life, but also wondering what if.
Well, you're gonna keep wondering because, yeah, the parade has passed her by. She's already in her 30s, and I can already see her losing that natural ability to just be giving in a relationship, which is really the woman's job, right? I don't care how antiquated that comes off. That it really is a woman's job to adapt, especially due to the fact that these women do date higher value men than themselves that are earning more income than themselves, even if they are working themselves. The dude is usually out earning them, at least the ones that they do date. So you should be adapting yourself to him because he's the breadwinner. Last one.
So everybody keeps asking me, what's it like being single and dating in your 30s?
Yep.
Let me tell you.
Here comes here comes the sales pitch, as always, with these DGs over 30. They're going to pitch you young girls like, look at this lifestyle, it's a party. Ooh, I'm coming up, and you better get this party started, playing the Pink in the background. Yeah, that's the DG national anthem, FYI. Every chick who listens and parties that song is damaged and over 30, can't hang on to a man, single, lonely, and living alone with cats.
It's been a blast.
There you go.
I think it's a really interesting period because there's some transition that happens between your 20s and your 30s where you just know a lot more about yourself and you understand the things that you like.
I wonder if it's due to the hundreds of dudes that have ran through you from the apps.
And kind of what your ideal day-to-day would look like. So being able to then go from being in a relationship to being single, and you have all this free time on your hands, and you know exactly what to do with it.
Yeah, get on the dating apps and invite the Chad, Pookies, and Tyrones to come over after midnight and take care of you, and then leave before the sun comes up.
It's been such a nice moment of reset of always thinking about what do I want. You get to be selfish every single day.
You are selfish. That's what put you in this position. Lady, I almost called her a girl, but she's obviously over 30. So that's why you're in this position now, is because your own selfishness, that you got to do it my way, to not get married and not pair bond. And not only that, but I've always told you guys too that you notice who's doing the most victory laps about being in their 30s and single are usually these women who are in their early 30s and still single. But wait until they get into their 40s, especially if you really want to get juicy. Wait till they get into their 50s, and you'll really see these women like, oh my gosh, I went on this date. The guy he didn't even show up. He didn't even show up. Oh my gosh, this guy ghosted me. He just stopped replying. Oh my gosh, this guy is not even that good looking. He blocked me. Or oh, this guy, he just yacked on my face, and then he said I wasn't attractive enough to have sex with. Wait until you're 50, right? It's all fun and games while you're still in your early 30s, because mentally you still think you're in your 20s, but you're not.
What time do you want to wake up? What do you want to do with your morning? What do you want to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What do you want to do in the afternoon? What do you want to do that weekend? You could do anything.
All about you, sister.
Sure.
You go, girl.
Dating has its cons, do not get me wrong. But I've been trying to keep the
It's your world. It's your world, dog.
The scheme of things. Even if I'm single for like the next 2 years, in my life, that's a very short period of time. So during this very small chapter of my life, I'm just going to really enjoy it. I don't have to worry about what anyone else needs. I can take all of that energy and just spend it on myself.
Can you imagine, fellas, being a high value guy and this chick showing you interest, and then you seeing this video about her talking about how it's all about myself, I'm selfish and I'm loving it. I get to do whatever I want, when I want, and I love it. I love being singles. I love being on these apps. I love different dudes coming over. I mean, can you imagine watching that if you're any dude who was crazy enough to consider dating her? What would you think? Would you think like, oh, yep, there you go, man. That is my wife. That is the future mother of my children. No, you would be like, okay, there goes another harpy, right? There goes another 304. There goes another chick who's made for the streets. There goes another chick who can't pair bond and function in a healthy relationship with a normal dude because she has to do it her way, right? She's a quote-unquote modern woman. These chicks are built and made to stay alone, right? They are intrinsically designed to stay by themselves. So as much as they preach about how, oh, I get to do my own thing every day, it's all about me, I make all the decisions, I don't have to be questioning by anybody else. Don't worry, ladies. If you're in her position, you are going to stay single, right? Statistically, based on the research, if you're still single over the age of, beyond the age of 35 especially, and you've never been married, never had kids, don't worry. The chances of you getting married and starting family are extremely low. They are very slim. Nothing you would want to bet on, right? You have a better chance of winning a jackpot at a slot machine. than you do of getting married and having a family. So don't worry, all that alone time that you just seem to indulge in so much, you're gonna have the next 70 years of your life to indulge in that stuff by yourself. You know, with every month or so, the next random guy walking into your life to have sex with you and then leaving, right? And then racking up your miles on your vaginal odometer. But that is a life you choose. That is a life you will live. As always, gentlemen, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, drop them in the comments below. As always, this is M from the 33 Secrets signing out. Don't forget to smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell for me as well. Helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And for you guys who want to support my work, as always, just jump into 7 months of mastery. Right now, it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me. It's the best way to support my work if you love what I'm doing here. So jump into 7 months of mastery, son. All you need to do is click the link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you could get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now. And I'll see you in my next coaching video. I'm out.